Hello student, welcome to Pharma E-Class. My name is Dr. Tahir Nizami. I am Associate Professor at Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education. In our lecture series of Pharmaceutical Analysis, Instrumental Method of Analysis, our next lecture is Gel Chromatography Part 2. In first part, we have studied about the introduction, principle and instrumentation of gel chromatography. We have studied that gel chromatography is also known as size exclusion chromatography. Now it is known as size exclusion chromatography because the separation of components take place on the basis of their molecular weights. That is, the larger molecular weights compounds are eliminated first and the smaller molecular weight compounds are eliminated least. Now in gel chromatography we have studied that there are two types of gel chromatography. Number one is gel permeation chromatography and gel filtration chromatography. And we have also studied that in gel chromatography there is a column. In the column there are some stationary phases. Stationary phase which are beads. There are different types of beads, like we have studied Cepha rose. We have studied that is known as also Cepha rose, Cepha etc. Now these types of stationary resins are having some pores inside their structure and they are packed into the column, and through that column the solutes which have larger particle size, which have large molecular weight, are passed through voids, and those substances which have a small particle size are entered through the pores. Now here we see the functioning and working of gel chromatography. This is a mobile reservoir, and here we use phosphate buffer, which is very commonly used mobile phases. And in this is a column, and in this column we have used Cephaldex G50 or Cephaldex G75 or Cephaldex G100 as stationary phase, or Cephalose as stationary phase. This is a detector which detects the analyte. This is the collecting tube, and this is the graph recorder which shows the graph, and the graph is plotted between the absorbance and the volume received. Now in this column we use Cephaldex G50. Here is an example of this resin Cephaldex. Now G50 stand for the size of particles which it does not which does not passes through the resins pores. That means G50 Cephaldex G50 contain such type of resins whose molecular particle size are more than 50 kilodalton. That means 50 kilodalton molecular particles of more than 50 kilodalton in their size cannot pass into three beads. They passes through these voids. Similarly, G75 means the particles whose molecular weight is more than 75 kilodalton cannot passes through these beads, cannot enter into the pore of these beads, passes through the voids and collected through the collecting duct. Similarly, G100, Cephaldex G100 means particle substrate of particle size more than 100 kilodalton cannot pass through the pores, but they pass through the voids which are present in the column. Voids are the free spaces in between the beads. So the solutes or substrate can be passed through the beads, pores present in the beads, or through the voids present in the column. Now, how this functioning? First of all, as in first step, only mobile phase is pumped into the column, and mobile phase is set from the reservoir. It enter into the column. Since there is no particles, mobile phase is enter through voids, through pores present in the beads, enter to detector. Detector has nothing to detect because it is simple mobile phase, and mobile phase is collected into collecting tube, and this show a plane line, that is base line, which is very flat. Now when we add solute or substance to be separated into mobile phase, the particles which the substrate enter through mobile phase into the column. The particles which are larger in size cannot pass through the micro beads, the spheres in the bead, but they passes through the voids and enter the detector. Detector detects the particles and it is collected in collecting tube, and here we saw the peak of the larger particles. Similarly, after that time, the all larger particles The smaller particles are still coming into the from through the micros through the spheres, pores in the spheres, that is resins, and meanwhile the mobile phase again come into the detector and we see a flat line. Now the smaller particles then come into the through the column and they come to detector, detect and is analyzing the components, and it is collecting the collecting tube and it is showing the P. Again the part is separated. Again mobile phase will come and we see a flat P. Again particles of lesser particle size, molecular size will see we see a P. So this is how gel chromatography works and how this is separation and identification of components done. Now, what are the applications of gel chromatography? Gel chromatography finds its application in the field of biotechnology and biochemistry. Since it is a separation technique, we can utilize this technique in separation of glucose, carbohydrates, proteins, enzymes, vitamins, hormones, etc. We can also use this technique in determination of molecular size, molecular structures, and for separation, purification and identification of compounds. For example, number one application is molecular weight determination. With the help of gel chromatography, we can identify the molecular weight of the compound, whether it is proteins or carbohydrate, etc. Second application of gel chromatography is separation of component from the mixture. If a mixture contains many components which contain different sizes, we can easily separate them by gel chromatography. Next application is separation of sugars, proteins, peptides and rubbers. With the help of gel chromatography, the sugars can be separated on the basis of their molecular weights, proteins can be separated on their molecular weights and sizes, peptides can be separated on the basis of their size, their chain length, rubbers can be separated on the basis of their chains. Another application of gel chromatography is determination of protein structure. We can determine with the help of gel chromatography the three-dimensional and the quaternary structure of protein. Another application is purification of enzymes, hormones, etc. So it is very widely used in field of biotechnology as well as in biochemistry. So this is all about gel chromatography. We have studied about introduction and principle and instrumentation in part 1. In part 2 we have studied the functioning, working of gel chromatography instrument, and also we have studied the application of gel chromatography. We have also studied that gel chromatography is divided into two parts. Number one is gel permeation and gel filtration chromatography. And finally we have studied that it finds its application in field of biochemistry and biotechnology and pharmaceutical sciences. Hope you have studied gel chromatography. In next lecture we will discuss about ion exchange chromatography. Thank you.